Hey, welcome to Sipper Social Club. I'm Jeremy. Got my good friend Rob Whisky in the Six on here. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. Just thought we'd hop on here, do a little live. Got some Laphroaig out in front of us.
Yeah, we've been doing this a little bit more consistently. I guess the lockdowns allow for more live time.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It gave me an excuse tonight because I've had this Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength sitting on the shelf for, I want to say like 3 years, maybe. There's some serious dust on this. And I don't know why I've never opened it before. I just, one of those things where it's at the back of the cabinet. And I mean, it really should be open. I mean, this is great stuff. I don't think I've had this particular batch before.
Which batch is that?
This is batch 7.
That's 7. Wow. That's
so batch 7 was the 200th anniversary Laphroaig year.
Oh, wow.
They did this batch 7. I've heard batch 7 is good.
I'm sure it is. This is batch 12. And batch 11, Jasper let me try last year, which was very good. This batch 12 is really, really good as well.
Yeah, so I've had both those batches, and I've had one other batch too. I think I've had batch 10, I want to say. Right. Jasper had 11, you have 12. I'm pretty sure I've tried 10.
And for the price that you get these for, they're very, very good bottles.
Yeah, you know what? And I don't even remember how I got this bottle or where I got it. It might have been like a lottery win. I don't really remember. Maybe I just bought it. I don't recall.
Well, 3 years ago, were lotteries as popular as they are now? I guess they were.
Yeah, they were pretty, but they were actually more popular because there wasn't like the big crackdown. I think like there was a big crackdown maybe like a year or two before I kind of got into doing online lotteries, and but when I hit it, it was like they were in full swing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We got We Want Freedom in the chat. What's going on? Batch 10 is my all-time favorite, and I've had most of them. Have you had batch 7? Because that's what I'm going to crack right now. If you're just joining us, I'm just going to crack this Laphroaig 10 Cask Strength batch 7.
Squeaky cork, man. Laphroaig's got the best corks in the game.
They have tight corks, don't they?
They have the best corks.
I always feel like their corks are always dry, it seems, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're really like, actually, that one slid in not too bad. So this one, like I said, batch 7, 56.3. What's the ABV on yours?
60.1.
Wow.
60.1. It's a beast.
Ridger's in the house. What's going on, buddy?
So, like, after you smell and taste that, I want you to be honest, and I want you to explain to me why you would pay another $150 for that bottle, or for instead of getting that bottle, get the Octomore, whatever. I know it's a different kind of peat, so that's I guess the key here is like it's that like medicinal, like asphalt, really Isla style peat versus the Octomore barbecue style peat. So you gotta like,
yeah, like the Octomore is giving you a lot of depth, especially when they have the 0.3s, which are like somebody gets some of that farm note aspect to it, you know, like the hay and whatever.
Yeah.
Does it say? Doesn't say what casks these are in. I'm assuming it's just all ex-bourbon, or is it a touch of sherry too? You think?
Let's see here. It says.
What's going on, Mark? What's up, buddy?
I'm gonna say you're right with all bourbon, but it's pretty. I mean, it's got some color to it. So I don't know. I wonder. Seasoned oak casks, mine says. Seasoned oak. So that's got to be some sherry, no?
Yeah. I mean, if it's a seasoned cask, that's got to be, right? I'll put a touch of sherry in here.
Yeah. Seasoned oak has got to be a bit of sherry.
Kevin, what's going on, buddy? What's going on?
Oh, I gotta turn on the chat over here. I don't see what's going on. What's going on, boys? Mark Saliba in the house too. Kevin, how are you?
Yeah, the Laphroaig peat is, you know, it's got this such uniqueness to it that it's just so strong. I mean,
Catherine and Richard in the house as well.
Hey, what's going on, Catherine?
Yeah. It's pretty identifiable. Like I remember Jasper gave us those elements of Isla, and I nailed a Laphroaig.
Yeah.
In blind, because it's such a unique, like you said, type of peat that it's hard not to like peg it.
I'm almost getting more kind of like barbecue smoke on this than I am like the briny saltiness.
It'd be cool to get as many as we can side by side and see like batch differentiation, like yours, Jasper's, mine.
Yeah, and I had a conversation about that exact thing with someone in the comment section of one of my videos, probably the Cartius review. They were saying that they could provide some samples of some different batches. So that'd be cool if we could fill in the gaps, of what we have and some samples of what we don't.
Yeah.
I don't know how far back we could go. Get batches, 4, 5, 6 would be kind of cool too.
Yeah, I would assume batch like 1 and 2 go for stupid money now.
Yeah, I'm sure batch 1 is the hardest to find and probably obviously the most expensive on secondary.
Which is why like I wanted to be ahead of the game with the Glenalkies this time, because like they're still relatively easily accessible. When you get to batch 12 of something, like going back to batch 1 is usually a nightmare.
Hey, Malted Montreal in the house. What's up, Swami? What's going on, buddy? Let me get my gong out here.
Come on, Swami.
Oh yeah, Rob, we should give you the congratulations on hitting the 10K milestone. It's awesome.
I'm like
2 days ago.
I'm like the last whiskey tuber ever to hit 10K.
That's not true.
But yeah, no, you know what? It's fun. It's fun when you see that there's a nice little following. The 10K just makes it look a little bit more, like a little better. 5 digits.
Nice round number. Yeah, it looks nice. Throw that right there. What else we got going on in the chat right now?
Mark's asking when the 10K celebration is. You got to get your sample because you're the only guy that I didn't ship that's going to be in that chat.
Who, me?
Yeah, because that night live on the 18th. So guys, it's going to be on December 18th. Do you mind if I just give it a quick look?
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, December 18th. It's going to be my 10K / 5-year celebration. Like I hit 5 years closer to Christmas. Like I want to say the 23rd, but whatever. We're going to do it together. And this gentleman that's hosting tonight is going to be in the chat during the live, as well as Roy Aquavite, Scott from the Scotch Test Dummies, Jason from the Mash and Drum, and Narby from Malt Reviews.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that Narby is going to pop in.
Yeah, so we're going to have a nice you can only have so many people. I figured, try to hit like around the world a little bit, and that's it.
Did you tell everyone what bottle that you've opened and sent out samples for?
I could show them.
Show them.
So I only got a baby pour out of this so far, and it's already down to
half. That fill level.
And that's because I was sending out samples of this. 2 of my Patreons won a sample, a 2-ounce sample, and then I sent it out to all those YouTubers that will be joining us. So it's, if you can't read the label, it's a 1990 PX Punch-In, 26 years old, bottled in 2016. If anybody's familiar with GlenDronach single casks, like the 1990s are one of the years that everybody tries to grab or this batch anyway.
Yeah, and having Narby on from Malt Reviews will be good because I'm pretty sure he's familiar with a lot of those single casks.
Yeah, it will be nice to get. It'll be nice to get the input of a bunch of vets. You know what I mean? Like Roy's a vet, and Narby's a vet, and Scotty's a vet, and Jason is more of a bourbon vet. But it would be cool to get a bourbon perspective
for sure
on that whiskey too, right? And then you and I obviously have been doing this for a very long time, so yeah, I think it'll be a cool night that we're all sharing the same whiskey. right? I think it'll be cool. It's the best we can do. Like I would have liked to have a big party where we could all get together at a hall and
Right.
have a nice night together. But obviously with lockdowns all over the place, this is the best we can do.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other Glendronachs I have here that I could pull out to compare to. I think I still might have a sample of the Grandeur Batch 9, perhaps, that Richard sent over.
Nice. Was it the Batch 9 was the one that I had? Was
yeah
8 the one that he sent over?
Now that I think of it, it might have even been 10. It might have been 8, 9, or 10. I kind of forget.
So honestly, apparently, so 8 apparently is amazing. The 9 that I had, I thought was excellent, and 10 I haven't tried, but you guys told me it was excellent as well. So
yeah, we did them. We did 3 of those back to back to back at Jasper's place, I think, and I think we all picked. We might have all picked 8, but I can't remember now of what we picked.
I think that's what I heard. I think
we were at consensus. We all chose the same one as our favorite. We did them. I think we did them blind.
Yeah. Yeah, so that just goes to show you how good 8 is, because I remember 9 being excellent.
Right. So. Oh yeah, Richard liked Batch 10.
Cheers, Mike. Thank you. Cheers. We want freedom.
Donner Pass in the house doing a little mini barrel with some tomatin in there. So yeah, 47 hours. Did you take it out? I guess you did, right? And now Deanson 10. Nice. And then Khalil after that. Cool, man. Yeah, hopefully that turns out well for you. I noticed that like when you take it out of the cask, out of the mini barrel, definitely let it just sit in the bottle that you have it in for a bit, kind of mellows it a bit, and then in a week from now you'll get really the kind of the true flavor profile of what you picked up from there.
I kind of want to buy another bottle of this Batch 12. I'm not going to lie to you. It is stupid good. Yeah. It is a banger. Like, it makes no sense how good that is.
Yeah, this is pretty tight right now, but
yeah, the first couple pours, I think. Right, are you getting that toothpaste note that you kind of typically get?
I'm not. No, I'm getting kind of more like a barbecue sauce smokiness to it.
Is that whiskey zing? Is that how you pronounce that, or Xing? Oh, well. Thanks, buddy.
Whiskey-ing?
Whiskey-ing. Or Xing. Or is it zing? I don't know. Yeah. How do you pronounce an X in the middle of a word like that? Crossing. Okay. Nice.
Oh, whiskey crossing. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, should have figured that one out a bit sooner, I think.
So Mike B is saying that Batch 12 is the best he's tried since Batch 2. That's interesting. I really like Batch 12. Batch 12 is a beauty, man. Like, I took one sip of this thing. I'm still tasting it. Like, what, 2 minutes? It's a beauty.
Yeah, I remember that Batch 12 being great.
I need to, there's a spot I know where I can get another bottle, and for whatever reason, it's one of the harder bottles for us to get, but it seems like it's pretty readily available in the US and the UK. Like, you can get it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Does Alberta usually have this in stock? I think they do, right?
Get the Laphroaig Cask Strength. I really want to like talk to somebody at Praxis about this, because they deal with Laphroaig, and why isn't the LCBO getting this in? I don't understand. Why don't we get this?
I don't know. They're weird about high ABV stuff sometimes, and sometimes they're not. So there's no rhyme or reason to it.
They had,
go ahead.
They had the Glen Scotia Victoriana for like the best price globally at like $95, and that's a Cask Strength Glen Scotia, and everybody raves about it. And it sold out pretty quickly, I think. But then they don't have something like this that's readily available, and it comes out every year. So.
Right.
What's up, Paulo?
Paulo in the house. Yes, Mark, I did grab a red layer this morning. Red Letter, Weiser's putting out the Red Letter batch again. Interested to try it and see how it compares to the old stuff. But yeah, Mark, did they sell out pretty quick? I didn't. I just bought the one.
I think they still have it on the site. I think it's still available.
Yeah.
So I think for this one, they're planning on just doing distillery only. I don't think
it's not going to hit the LCBO. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe that's why it's still on the site. That's the only thing I can think of.
Eric Waite's in the house. What's up, buddy? Throwing down some knowledge of Greek lettering. Oh, that's yeah.
Man, I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna drink the Carchis because it's not even in the same league as that 10-year-old. So I like this Carchis. I know that, like, well, it seemed like you liked it, just not as much as the port, right?
That's true. Yeah. I forget what I scored. I think I gave it a decent mark.
Yeah. Like 85 or 86, something like that. Or
yeah, I think I gave it 85.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can find it for $100, I mean, it's great value, right? Because like this whole lineup, they were always decent value. Wasn't the biggest fan of the Cask Strength quarter cask, which was a huge disappointment because I really liked the quarter cask Laphroaig. It was actually the first heavily peated whiskey I ever tried. Was the quarter cask.
Yeah.
And it like threw me through a loop, obviously, as it does everyone who tries it for the first time.
I think that's the first peated whiskey I might have had as well, because I just remember getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
It was rough. Like my first go with that one, I will never forget that. I thought the person hated me that gave it to me.
I remember just like tasting asphalt and being like, this is the weirdest flavor I've ever gotten from a beverage before.
Yeah, I totally told myself then that I would never like it. I would never like peat.
See, I was intrigued by it. I wasn't saying like I loved it, but I was like, wow, this is really interesting because it's like very unique, you know. I wasn't put off. Like a lot of people are disgusted by it.
This has got to be, I'm 36 now, probably 12 years ago. And yeah, I can honestly say that I was pretty put off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had peated whiskey before that. You have like your lightly peated Johnny Walkers, your like Highland Park, stuff like that. But
yeah,
nothing like an Isla Peat. There's not like you don't know Isla Peat until you know Isla Peat.
Do you think do you know how old this lore is? Can they have whiskey in here that's like 19 years old or so?
I feel like there is. And I was actually going to make a comment about age too, because having this cartridge next to this Laphroaig 10 Cask Strength, you could tell it's just much younger. It's almost 10 ABV, 10 points lower than my 10-year-old Cask Strength, and it doesn't drink anywhere close. Like it's not even in the same league.
I think a cool comparison would be Laphroaig 18 versus Laphroaig lore.
Yeah,
I think there's some whiskey in this lore that's like 19 years old, if I remember correctly.
I wouldn't be surprised. I remember loving that lore.
Yeah, I wasn't as big on it as you were. Caitlin loved it. She's a huge lore fan.
Yeah.
I know Ralphie did. Didn't he do lore recently? I know. I don't think he reviewed it because it's NAS, but I think he recommended it as like a go-to NAS whiskey.
Yeah, I think that was the video he did on recommendations for NAS. That was the one that followed. That was the video that followed our whiskey rant where we were asking like him to allowed us to believe that he might be watching after all.
Yeah, he definitely was. Richard's getting the Cask Strength for $85.
That's a great deal.
I mean, you can't go wrong, right?
That's a great deal. Yeah, I mean, I would buy this every year just to try the batch differentiation. Like, it's not going to break the bank. It's an easy, like, I can easily finish one of these a year, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because, like, if you compare it to other heavy hitters, I mean, trying to think of what else is Cask Strength out there. So, like, it seems like some of the guys are being pretty reasonable about their Cask Strength prices. Glen Alecky, for example, these guys are doing a really good job.
Glengoyne, the regular Cask Strength is pretty cheap. Same with Glendronach. But when you get to the teapot dram is becoming like stupid territory as far as price goes. But I mean, I just found out that some Alberta stores have the Cask Strength Highland Park for like $150, and that's
Really?
that's in Alberta. So like, I'm kind of scared. What's the LCBO price going to be if Alberta's at 150?
I don't know. That's what I was worried about too. Because like, what was it going for in the UK? 55 pounds.
Yeah, like a reasonable, like I think it was actually 60 pounds, 65 pounds.
So that's like around 90, 95 Canadian dollars, which is
good.
good.
It's the double factor. By the time we get it here, you're looking at about $120 with shipping, like taxes, duty, all that stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this cartridge drinks very thin next to this 10 Cask Strength.
Yeah, I bet.
It's not like it's got to be a good 5-6 years younger, maybe like chill filtered. Does it say unchill filtered, no added color on it? I don't think it does.
I don't think Laphroaig puts that on their bottles.
But you could definitely tell that the Cask Strength is not chill filtered because it's just too thick and robust.
Yeah, I would assume it is not. You know, another hilarious thing that Laphroaig puts on some of their stuff is it says we recommend that you add twice as much water as whiskey to refill to fully appreciate the taste characteristics of the original Cask Strength Laphroaig.
That's a common practice for like Scottish master blenders and stuff like that. They'll pour like 2 parts water, 1 part whiskey, and like I guess that's how they survive the day because they're like tasting I don't know how many barrels and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so, I have heard that they bring down whiskey to like 30% or 25% ABV to sample it, which makes sense. But like, you're just going to drown this thing, right? Like if I put double the water in here, this is going to just disappear, I think. Peter, should I bother?
I wouldn't do that. I think that's great talk.
I'll put a touch of water in.
Yeah, give it a touch. Peter White saying that the YouTube notification only 20 minutes late. YouTube's been weird. Like a few people have been telling me they don't get notifications for my videos at all, and they have the bell and the subscriber button hit.
YouTube is known for that. They're known for that messing up because I remember I follow a guy who has a lot of subscribers. He does like a news show. He's got like 5 million subscribers, and he always is talking about how people are commenting that they're not getting it in his news feed. They're not showing up when they have bell notifications on. So it's an issue on their end, I think.
I also think because there's a new option with the bell notifications, you can hit always sometimes or like something like that. So it depends. I think if people are quickly clicking the bell and then not really paying attention, they could accidentally click a different tier of the bell. There's like 3 tiers now. I think I could be wrong. Could have thought do that today though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What do you think about that lure next to these other guys?
It's good actually. I'm liking this more than how I remembered it.
Honestly, it shocked me how good it was. I didn't expect it to be that good.
I think it's got more cherry in it, right? If you take a look at the color.
Yeah. It makes sense because it's double the price of the Carchis. 48%, right? I think it's 48%.
Yeah. 48, same ABV as the 18. That's why I thought this would be a good head-to-head.
Oh, who was it? Richard that said that's no. Someone said it's $115 the lure in. Yeah, Richard. $150 where he is, but he gets everything for such a good deal.
He does get great deals on whiskey. He's got a good couple local shops. Plus, he's got a Costco, which always helps.
Yeah.
Jesse, chat. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
I wish the government allowed Costco to sell whiskey and whatever else, just to keep the LCBO honest. Like, you would see such a change.
Yeah. The sad thing is the LCBO has like buying power, you know, not equivalent to Costco, but they have a lot of buying power. They could price it just as well as Costco does.
You would think that they probably make, I don't know, like a government-run liquor store, and we're talking an entire province. How many stores are there total? They got to make a crap ton of money, man.
Yeah, they do. That's why it's unfortunate. This little bit of water in the 10 cask strength helped it quite a bit.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so tight when you first crack it, right?
Yeah, and I don't think there's a very long vatting process for these 10 cask strengths, right?
Richard with the super chat. Actually, we haven't really said about giving anything away tonight, but I think we will.
I think we should just give Richard something.
Just a sympathy sample.
You have to win.
This is what I'll do. I will give away samples. Anyone who super chats tonight can choose. Let's say three samples from anything they see here. Any of these Laphroaigs, the Lore, the 18, the Batch 7 cask strength, or the other ones, but those are the ones I'd probably pick.
You just can't take 3 samples of just the 18 because I need to try that before.
Yes, and also this is on Drink My Bar now, so it can't be hurt too much because the Patreons want to get their hands on it too. So that's what we'll do. So Swami and Richard in the mix so far, and yeah, winner can choose 3 samples of anything they see in here tonight.
Honestly, when I drink Isla Scotch, it just drinks clean. I can't really explain it, but when you drink certain types of whiskey, you get to almost you feel like you can, I don't know, bloat it or whatever else, but I never feel that way drinking Isla. I don't know why. Just a cleaner drinking whiskey.
I don't know. That's weird because sometimes maybe it's just because it's all mostly ex-bourbon.
It's less sugary, from the cask influence or whatever, maybe. But then again, this is port and wine casks, and we just said that this is American seasoned oak, so it could be some sherry in there. I have no idea why. Maybe it's just in my head. Maybe it tastes like I'm drinking medicine. So.
Honestly, though, out of all this stuff tonight, I don't know. That 18 is pretty solid.
It'd be hard to beat the 18, but I feel like you're going to say the Lure is kicking ass.
No, I'm actually saying that the 10 cask strength is getting there.
Oh, yeah, the 10 cask strength. This 10 cask strength in particular here, I'm so glad I got a bottle because it's really, really good.
It's hard to choose. These are all really good Laphroaigs.
See, these go for the new ones go for close to $300 on secondary, but I don't think I would ever sell it for that much because I think it's actually worth that much in value in the bottle.
Right.
Does that make sense? You tend to sell a bottle that maybe isn't worth as much open as it is closed. Whereas if the bottle is actually more valuable inside than the value of what you can get for it, you might as well keep it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I agree. Jasper in the house, what's going on? Where's all the big numbers?
The big numbers all are with the big paycheck.
They're with you. They're with the baller. You know what? I kind of disappointed with some of those older age-stated Laphroaigs. I don't know, your experience with all of them, but
I was disappointed as well. The only one that I wish I would have tried that I didn't end up trying was the 28 because I heard really good things about it.
I've had the 32. The 32 is actually really good, but not worth the price tag. You're gonna have to shell out for it. The 25, I was disappointed with. I think that one is probably the most disappointing I've had. And I've heard the 27 is really good though.
27 is still available, but it's not cheap. It's $1,000.
Yeah, see, it's not worth it. You're better to go to the independent bottler for Laphroaig. Even the younger stuff. I forget the one that I had, but I had a really good 9-year-old Laphroaig. And actually, it'd be good to go against the Cask Strength because it is Cask Strength. But
yeah, the element of Isla one that we tried was really good as well.
mm-hmm.
So Jasper just comment on it. Go to Amherst, New York.
Yeah, the Elements of Isla. How old was that one though? That was pretty. It had some age to it, did it not?
I think it was 9 years old if I'm not mistaken, or 10 years old, maybe a little older. Jasper would know it. He has the bottle. Peter White's saying Amherst, New York. When the border opens, Laphroaig 10 Cask Strength is 72 US.
Yeah.
One duty, not paying $300. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think I would ever pay a secondary price for a Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength, but then again, I don't really pay secondary prices for anything. I can't do it. I have a big problem with it. I have a tough time doing it unless it's something that I'm like dying for. Even paying over retail from retail stores bothers me. Again, that's a big problem that's happening in Alberta right now, actually. Like the exact opposite of what was happening 3-4 years ago is happening in Alberta now, where distributors, warehouse, like wholesalers, all these kind of people are charging stores more for product. So stores are forced to charge more as well. We saw it with the Octomore 11.
Man, that Octomore price increase.
Crazy. I should go get that. Congrats on the money.
Joe Boney.
He's upstairs. Otherwise, I would have.
Cheers, Kevin. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Kevin, let's keep track of this.
LP9 is a 20-year-old, Jasper saying. So,
yeah, that's what I was saying. It was older. It wasn't just. Yeah.
Maybe I just thought it was 9 because of the 9.
Right. Yeah.
If I got to remark this now, after tasting it side by side with the 10 Cask Strength, I'd probably drop it to like an 83, 84.
What were you originally on that?
I think 86, 87.
Yeah.
I think that's fair on its own. Like standalone, I would enjoy that whiskey and have a good night with it. But like next to this, like I hadn't opened this bottle of the 10 Cask Strength when I did my top 10 Cask Strength Scotch whiskeys. And I think, like I even mentioned it in the video, that if I had opened this, I probably would have gone with this as my number one. But I went with Glenalchie. Yeah, and honestly, I did say in the video that they're interchangeable, and I still stand by that. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, for value, I think someone said it earlier in the chat that one of the best values in Scotch right now is the Laphroaig 10 Cask Strength.
Yeah.
Hard to argue. I mean, I would take it over pretty much any Carches, right? Like I'm trying to think of a Carches that I would want more than it.
Yeah, there are none for me. What was the ABV of the 15-year-old? Was there a 15-year-old Carches?
There was a lot of Carches like before they started going to like this style of label. But they only released a little bit of them. Like I think those releases were like, 5,000 bottles, 6,000 bottles. And then we started going this, they were, up to like 150,000, 200,000 bottles released. So
wow.
I don't remember any of those old Carches. I've never tried any of them. So I'm not really sure.
I feel like we tried the one that Mike B is saying. The Elements bottlings are fantastic. Love the AR11, the Ardbeg one. And BW5, that's a Bowmore, I guess.
Yeah, but when did we decide on from Jasper's lineup that we liked the best? Was it Laphroaig? I can't remember.
That night was a disaster because we had those, and then we had that Highland Park 30 that night, did we not?
Yeah, we did. Mike M coming in with the $5 super chat. Thanks so much. Hasn't tried Laphroaig yet. Well, I'm cheering for you in this competition tonight. Hopefully you can take it down and rock your world with some of this stuff for sure.
Break Richard's heart again. I get a really nice coffee note on the back end of the 10 Cask Strength. Like a really, really nice coffee note.
Really?
Yeah.
Not really getting any of that here.
It's that, like, I don't know. It's the aftertaste when you're drinking a nice coffee, like a nice espresso or something like that.
I'm getting a lot of like peppery notes. Actually, salt and pepper. Lots of spice. Definitely hits you. Definitely a big impact on the palate.
Yeah.
Laphroaig malts. Oh, that's a good question. Any Laphroaigs that use 100% of their own malted barley? I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, I know lots of places that, well, does Springbank use all their own malted barley?
No, just for the local barley, right?
Right. Because I know like Highland or like Balvenie uses like 30%, and like Highland Park might use like 30% of their own stuff.
Yeah.
But no, to answer your question, I'm not sure.
You know what company is using all their own stuff? I think they have like a big farm and like a huge distillery and all these different things that when this is over, actually we might not even have to wait till this is all over, but these guys, I'm going to show you guys.
If you're talking about Daft Mill is like that. Grow their own stuff.
I'm talking about Canadian whiskey right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, Shelter Point.
Yeah, Shelter Point. So I've been buying up these guys a little bit. Like, I really like their stuff. This one's 100% wheat. I bottle split 100% a 100% rye whiskey with Peter White. This is 100% wheat. It's called the Forbidden. Really cool stuff. I think it was about 6 years old, the Forbidden. 49.8. They bottle all their stuff no less than like 46, which is pretty cool. This is their artisanal single malt whiskey, which is shockingly good. And they're like I said, they're doing all their own stuff. This one's 5 years old. They tell you exactly how old the whiskey is if you call them, ask them, or email them, whatever you want. And then this one's really cool. This is a 7-year. It was aged 7 years in American oak and then finished in virgin oak casks, 47%.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, it's got a nice color to it. Even for the artisanal, like that's why that can't be all bourbon cask because that's pretty dark for a bourbon cask whiskey if that is. And they both stay natural color, no added color, no chill filtration. So yeah.
Yeah, Shelter Point out of BC, lots of good stuff. Lots of good reviews coming out about their stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you can buy right off of their website. If they don't ship to you directly, you just got to send them an email, I think. I could be wrong with that, though. Send them an email.
Richard's asking about the batch 12 over batch 11.
Good question. Jasper has the batch 11. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I do remember really enjoying that. Although I think I really love this batch 12, to be honest. I'm going to pour myself a touch more because I gave myself very small baby pours. But I think I can afford a little bit more.
So this Laphroaig, I'm pretty sure I got this from the US. This was a while ago. I've had this bottle sitting for about 3 years, I want to say. I don't remember where I got it, how I got it, what I paid for it, but I'm pretty sure it came from the US. But yeah, I think Alberta is your only chance of getting a bottle in Canada.
trying to raid Rob's cupboards. Jasper, you're not allowed over my house for a while. I'm finally like restocking my stuff after the last damage you.
Do you remember what batch Ralphie did? What batch he reviewed recently?
I believe it was this one, the batch 12.
Was it 12?
If I'm not mistaken, I can look it up for you. Pretty sure it was the 12.
I would assume it would be the 12 because it probably wasn't a new bottle he just bought.
Yeah.
I remember commenting on a Ralphie video back when he did Laphroaig 10-year-old. It was probably, I don't know, 7 years ago maybe.
There's a couple famous Laphroaig 10 videos, aren't there?
Yeah. Shout out to our boy Foodquig. But I remember I asked Ralphie, I'm like, are you going to do the Cask Strength? And he responded to something like it was too much of a bruiser or something like that, or it was too intense.
It's funny how the mentality around whiskey has changed. I remember thinking that way as well back in the day. Like, oh man, I can't touch a Cask Strength without like dumping water into it because it'll burn my palate. It's gonna I won't be able to drink anything else that night. Such a misconception. You just gotta train. That's it. It's training. It's hard training. Hard work, guys.
It is hard work.
Confirmed. Ralphie did the batch 12, and
okay.
Zan said the same thing.
And he gave it a good mark, if I remember right. Was he in the 90s with it?
90 or 91? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Big score.
Yeah. It was 3 months ago he did that video. I'm just gonna check this mic on this. So Peter White's saying that this wheat whiskey might be Highwood. I wonder because it was only like 5 or 6 years old. Like I'd be surprised if they sourced it.
Oh, okay.
But I trust Peter. So if he's saying it is, it is. But he's saying it might be. So I wonder.
Another super chat. Cheers, buddy. Did you hear that? There we go. Jesus. Always keep me in the loop.
Yeah, Ralphie gave it a 90. I feel like he could have been a bit more generous with that.
I mean, Ralphie, is the interesting thing about Ralphie is that he only reviews whiskey that he'll score 80 or higher on, right? He hasn't given anything a 79 or lower.
Yeah.
He just won't review whiskey he doesn't think is worthy of talking about, which I guess is kind of good and bad. I mean, I'd rather kind of see a review where he's like, this whiskey isn't worthwhile buying and scoring it lower.
Yeah.
Than just not mentioning it at all. But yeah, interesting take on reviews.
So I got like something that I would like to put in our whiskey rant and talk more into detail about it, but I do have to mention it now because it really bothers me. I don't know why this bothers me so much, but okay. Fred Minnick is a great reviewer, great podcaster, all these different things. And he has like some really cool guests on at times. And he doesn't get enough attention, although he's hit 12,000 subs on YouTube pretty quick. I don't think he's getting enough attention. Like some of his guests, he only gets like 300 or so views or whatever. The other day he had Ludacris.
Yeah, I saw that.
He had Ludacris, who's like world famous in all like the Fast and Furious video movies. Or like he had Ludacris on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was 2 days ago. Now it has about 7,000 views. But like, what's a guy got to do to get a bunch of views? I don't get it.
I agree.
Unless you bourbon, you're not getting 30,000 views on something. Like it's just not happening.
And they were drinking some freaking bangers of whiskey there. Like they had Michter's 20. Like I know Michter's like sponsors his podcast or his YouTube channel or whatever and sent those bottles out.
So,
but like, yeah, like he just gave Ludacris like a Michter's 20 plus some other stuff. You know, Michter's 20, you're looking at, I don't know, like $7,000.
So the title of the video says Ludacris drinks $15,000 whiskey straight from the bottle.
Yeah.
Like,
of course, Ludacris
like,
freaking chugs it.
it's got the most clickbait like title you could ever think of. It's got Ludacris in the video, and this guy, like, this video should have 1 million views already. Like, why doesn't it have 1 million views? I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I'm sure Ludacris has a big like social media following that he could retweet that or whatever and get it up there.
You would think, right? Like, I mean, Ludacris owes it to Fred Minnick to at least retweet that. Like, do something with that. Come on. It's crazy.
But like, it's the video starts out and like Ludacris, I don't know. He claims like he's a big whiskey drinker, but he's like scarfing down like some chili. I'm like, is this the best thing to be eating right before trying like this like ridiculous expensive whiskey? Like you're just mowing down on some chili and then just like chugging Michter's 20 from the bottle. It's cringy. I cringe. I'm like, ugh.
I know.
I'm like, man.
But he's Ludacris. He can do whatever he wants.
I know he can.
he's gonna just tell us to move, bitch.
Like, cheers, Mike. Thanks, buddy. When are you doing another rant? Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know. Like we have these restrictions in the GTA right now that they don't want you even like going to someone else's house. So that's in store for another couple of weeks. So hopefully when that's cleared up, then we'll get together. I mean,
yeah, like,
we're kind of in each other's bubbles anyway, but
yeah, that's true.
We don't want to get the COVID police on our case, you know.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that like if we were to publicly put it up there, there's evidence to show that.
We could just put a disclaimer. This was filmed before COVID restrictions.
You know what would be really funny though is if we just pretended that like you made up your set to look like mine, and then we had this going on like StreamYard, but we're in the you see my hand reach across into yours.
The crazy thing is like I see like advertisements with like a little thing at the bottom that says filmed before COVID or whatever, because I'm sure they just get piles upon piles of viewer hate being like, you shouldn't be that close together.
All those people shaking their canes at
right.
getting together.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, hopefully we'll get some rants, some podcasts going as soon as we can.
Okay, so I know this is off topic, but what's your stance on wearing a mask outside? Like you're outside, you're social distancing, and you're still required to wear a mask.
No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, like if I'm walking, let's say like today, I went to go pick up some food. From like I parked my car in the street, put my mask on, walked from like the street on the sidewalk where there was like a crowded sidewalk, and then into the place to get the food. Like I'm fine with that.
Yeah. But
like outside where you're not close to people, no, I'm not gonna wear my mask.
Yeah, like you go for a walk with your dog. Like my mom lives in like an older area, but it's a subdivision. Like it's not like a crowded street by any means or anything like that. She walks the dogs. And she's been getting like dirty looks from people because she walks the dogs without a mask. But like she's on one side of the street, they're on the opposite side of the street. There's like more than 20 feet between them. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm not that stickler for that. I mean, if you're in close proximity, 100% for sure. But if you're walking your dog, yeah.
The science doesn't even make sense. Like public health won't even consider you in close contact with someone, even if you were in close contact with someone when you were outside. Like you actually don't even get considered into quarantine unless you're feeling symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter White's saying he's not wearing a mask outside. Yeah, I don't think you should have to wear it. Like it's one thing if you're in the schoolyard that like keep the kids safe, fine, whatever. They play very close. They touch the same basketball. They're like whatever. They're close. Fine, wear a mask. But outside, like people don't generally hang out right beside each other. They're not hovering over each other in the outdoors.
The comment from We Want Freedom. I saw someone during like the peak of COVID, like when it first started back in April or whatever, March, April, wearing an N95 mask, goggles, and gloves while driving their car by themselves.
I see this.
I saw them driving down the street. I was like, "Are you kidding me with this?"
It's terrifying. Honestly, like for people to be that scared that they're wearing a mask in their own car, like I just don't understand it. Like the only thing I could think of is like you're either a really old Uber driver or
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Could be an Uber driver for sure. It could be an Uber driver, but it didn't look like it didn't have the Uber sticker, so it might not have been.
Yeah. I've seen it a few times now actually. Man, I'm loving this Laphroaig Cask Strength. It's so good.
Yeah, and this one's opening up very nicely.
I didn't add a drop of water into this one. The first night I poured it, I did, but I would say that once you get to like the neck, like just like the fat of the bottle, like the opening of the bottle there, you're gonna not need water anymore.
Right.
That's my guess.
Although still, this 18-year-old,
so good.
So when I finished first. Yeah, it's really good. It does beat the lore, but just barely. Actually, this lore is actually pretty solid. I should actually, you know what? Did I review? I haven't reviewed it yet.
The lore, I don't think you did. No, or maybe you did. Was it one of your first 5 that you posted that like before your launch?
I don't think so. Did I review the lore? I can't even remember.
I feel like you might have. Honestly, like the thing that bothers me so much about this whole COVID thing is in Ontario, I don't know what's happening around the world, but in Ontario, they're closing down all these small businesses, making all these businesses close down, not sell their product. The place that we were renting a mat from for our kickboxing dojo, it was a karate dojo. We were renting the mat from them for a very long time. BMS Karate, they just closed down their last location. So they had 4 locations going into COVID. They have 0 now. So they've completely closed down, which is terrible. And then somehow the government's like justifying a way to keep schools open. So I'm all for opening everything up and you know wearing a mask or whatever. Do whatever you need to do to protect yourself, but let's open things up, open the economy up. But I think if you're going to lock down, you can't lock everybody else down, but keep schools open because the spread is happening in schools. The difference between August and now is just schools. That's it. That's the only difference between, well, until they started locking us down again.
Right.
So everything was open in August and there was less than 120 cases a day in Ontario. And now the only thing that's different is school has been open for 3 months and there's over almost 2,000 cases a day.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that, you know, this COVID is just killing small business. Like, it's just going to destroy so many. And it's the fine balance. I guess you kind of have to work it out so you're not overloading your hospital, but at the same time, you can keep stuff up and running. And if every single person took like the social distancing, the masks, the hand washing, all those protocols, like super, super seriously, we wouldn't have as much spread, right? I think a lot of the spread, like you said, coming from schools, coming from like large group gatherings, like private gatherings in people's homes, like large family gatherings. I think all of that, like you're not social distancing and wearing masks when you're in that situation. And it seems like that is one of the main spreaders. And they're coming down on like restaurants, like the stats on restaurant spread was very low. Like same with like gyms, restaurants, the places you think that it would be a lot weren't that much because those places were taking a lot of precautions like that, right? They were having like constant cleaning, constant, mask wearing or whatever, and taking it more seriously in those establishments. And it seems like those are going to get hit the hardest when it's not really that fair to them.
Yeah, Mike Stahl is saying it's destroying all businesses. $billion companies are laying off.
Yeah.
It's sad because honestly, what I was going to say to your point is adults can, so like I'm a strong believer that there were like parties and all that kind of stuff going on all summer, right? And the spread in Canada wasn't anywhere near as bad as it is now. But try to tell a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old to social distance.
Yeah, no shit.
And turn your head for 1 second.
Okay.
Literally 1 second. Like I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And the moment they see their cousins, like even if we try to social distance, they're hugging each other, they're playing, they're wrestling, there's no such thing as social distancing like with kids, right? And they're at school and they're doing all these things too. So
yeah,
it's really, really difficult. And now that they're going to do this asymptomatic testing in schools, they're going to start to find that it's way higher than they thought.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we're going to be in for a long winter. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I had it in October, and I did my best to social distance. I washed my hands constantly, would wear a mask and a shield every day at work.
Right.
I
mean, you can take every precaution and still get it.
Well, I have kids, right? So when my daughter comes into our bed in the middle of the night with a cold, what are we gonna do? You're gonna get whatever she has, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%. And like people who take public transit to work, if they're taking public transit every day, like it's a high risk area for sure.
Yep.
But Kevin's saying apparently people in London, people having Toronto parties. Yeah. 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 Toronto's locked down. Let's go to London and party.
Yeah, that's true. That's what's happening is people are going to different areas where it's not locked down to do the things that they want to do, like go to restaurants, go to bars and that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which is gonna make for a lot of drunk driving, I think. Which is unfortunate.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're just joining us, we're drinking some Laphroaig tonight. I opened up this new batch 7 Cask Strength. Rob's got the batch 12 in front of him. We're doing a little giveaway tonight. Anyone who super chatted has their name entered to win some samples. You can pick 3 samples of anything you see on the table. The 18-year-old, the lore, really good stuff. Batch 7, of course. So yeah, we'll do that winner. We'll give it another 5 minutes, then I'll throw that in a draw.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Richard just because he's gonna get really mad at us if he doesn't.
I'll just put in the chat. These are the people that we have so far that have super chatted tonight.
Yeah. Have you tried? You haven't tried the new Johnny Walker celebratory, have you?
No, I just watched your review of it today.
Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with that whiskey.
I'm surprised that they were bottling stuff at higher than 43%.
They have a 28-year-old at 46% coming out. Like it's just hitting shelves now. 28 years old. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah.
Because
there's probably a lot of is there a lot of single malt in it, or is it mostly like grain, you think?
I don't know, but has that ever stopped you from liking Johnny Walker Blue or the Blue Cask Strength or anything like that, right?
True.
Right? So Blue Cask Strength has to have some younger whiskey in that, right? I would assume so anyway.
Well, I think the rumor with Johnny Walker Blue is that there's whiskeys between 40 and 18 years old. So you have to assume that the 40-year-old stuff is probably the single grain, and the younger stuff would be the single malt. But yeah.
I wish they threw an age statement on that stuff.
Well, I mean, you can't, because you can't have an 18-year-old Johnny Walker Blue sell it alongside an 18-year-old Johnny Walker and expect people to pay 3 times the price for the same age statement.
Got a nice little super chat there. Nice comment.
Mike, cheers, buddy. Showing the love. Appreciate it, man. Cheers. I will throw your name in there regardless. So a lot of mics super chatting.
3 mics super chatted tonight. It's good odds that a mic's gonna win. I'm betting on a mic. So does Kevin get two entries because he?
That's the thing. I don't know. I don't think so, because I I know Kevin super chatted twice, but Richard also super chatted $25. So I don't think it'd be fair to Richard if someone super chatted 25 times for $1 each, and he's super chatted once, and he's got the same, reduced odds.
That's a good point. Okay. That's valid.
Yeah. So I appreciate, Kevin, that you super chatted again, but unfortunately I can't give you another name in the entry because it wouldn't be fair. Batch 7 versus batch 12. So like I said, I just cracked this, so it's really hard to say where this is going to fit as far as what I've tried so far. Rob and someone else in the chat said that batch 12 was really, really good. Ralphie reviewed batch 12, gave it a high mark. I would say from what I'm drinking now to what I remember from batch 12, I would take batch 12. Not to say that this doesn't open up and competes with it later on.
Let's see what Whiskey Base has to say. That's usually a decent indication. At least you have.
See what they rate the highest batch. It'd be interesting. Is there a limit in the super chat? Yeah, so one super chat gets you one entry. Multiple super chats, just one entry only.
So the batch 12 has an 86.6 on here. Let's see what. Yeah, batch 7. Batch 7 has 88.11. So now two things could be affecting that score. One, the batch 7 is better, and that's why. Or two, it's because the batch 12 is relatively new and still hasn't circulated enough for people to vote on it.
Right. Yes, I will ship the samples to the US. I do it all the time.
Yeah, my suspicion is probably correct with the number 2 because there's only 3 votes on the batch 12 here.
Oh, okay. DH Sales in the house. What's going on, buddy? Batch 12 improves a lot when open.
Yeah, who's that? DH Sales?
Too early, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think Dustin and I have very similar tastes in whiskey, and I think he's right because the first sip, I wasn't absolutely in love like I was with batch 11, but it's already much, 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 much better, and I really like it.
Eric with the super chat, thank you so much. Gateway whiskey in my early 20s. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were saying before it was the first heavily peated whiskey I tried was the quarter cask.
So on Whiskey Base it says bourbon cask only for the 10.
Okay.
I wonder if they throw bourbon in it again right before they, I don't know, or it's first fill. Well, I don't get the American oak seasoned casks. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird that they would say seasoned cast and then it'd just be ex bourbon. It can't be, right?
Yeah. The finish on the batch 12 here is unbelievable. It's phenomenal.
Kevin also sharing the quarter cask first peated whiskey.
That is definitely the wrong peated whiskey to give to rookie.
It can definitely turn you off, but it didn't for me.
I was terrified of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, I'm looking through basically all the scores, and they're roughly all 89 point something, 89.4, 89.5, and this is older batches. They do really, really well on Whiskey Base.
So sorry, what was the top rated batch?
They're all in and around the same. Like I said, it goes from 89.4 to 89.8 depending on the year. Batch 3 is apparently a really, really good batch. The original Cask Strength is the highest. It's a red stripe. It's 10-year-old 2004. No, sorry, I lied. The 2008 is Like, see, this is the problem. Is there's so many different. Yeah, see, this only has 14 votes. There's so many different like entries of one.
Right.
I wish we just combine them. Like if there's multiple on Whiskey Base, but whatever.
Yeah.
There's some in the 90s. There's some in the 90s here, but then again, we don't know how many scored on each. It's too difficult to tell when you have that like 12 batches. Like it's just all over the place.
All right, these are the people that have their name in for the draw so far. Give it one more minute. Anyone wants to super chat and get in there? If not, I will do the draw, and we will pick a winner. What do you think? What do you think they're going to take, Rob? Of the 3 samples, what would you take of this?
I take the Cask Strength,
Yeah,
the 18, and the Lure.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much consensus. Although I guess if you haven't had one of these cartridges that you've kind of wanted to try, maybe you take that. But
yeah, I think the only way you take a cartridge over the the only way you take the Lure is if you haven't tried the Lure. If you tried the Lure, then you're not going to take the Lure. Right? So the 18 and the 10 Cask Strength are a lock, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say so too.
That 18 is stupid. I think so I don't want to give away your top 18 Scotch rundown in case people haven't seen it yet, but mine was a number. I think the 18 came first.
So did you say third?
First, I think the
first.
The Laphroaig 18 came in first on my 18-year-old, and it came in the 10-year-old came in second on my Cask Strength.
Nice, yeah, can't deny that. Matthew with the super chat, thank you so much. Cheers, buddy. From NOLA, what's that?
Hey, from I don't know what NO stands for, but I'm thinking the last part is Los Angeles. NOLA, NOLA. North. I don't know. I have no idea.
Anyway, wherever you're from, cheers, bud. Appreciate it.
NOLA. Nolans.
Okay, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All right. My bad.
Let me put your name in there. All right, I'm gonna do the draw now. I'll get Matthew in there. Oh, whoops. I just deleted my list. Let me just go grab it again.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I should have helped you out with that. I should have been taking them down.
No, it's okay. I put it in the chat so I wouldn't lose it. So we got Swami, Richard, Kevin, Mike's.
I don't want to stop doing it. Richard, you're giving me a bad rap, man. It's not my fault you haven't won. I guess, well, the last one on your channel I did for you, right?
Right.
That random number generator he doesn't like of mine. So what do you have one?
I don't think I have one on my phone, but I can figure something out.
Honestly, old age is a real thing, man. My daughter wakes up like daily at about I would say 5:30 in the morning and like wakes up the whole house. Like she doesn't like just wake up. She's like up and she's jumping on our bed and she's like she wakes up the entire house. Like the later I go to bed now, like the countdown gets a little smaller and a little smaller until Arya is up and just like destroying the house.
All right. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see.
Yeah, we can see. So you gotta press generate.
Okay. So there it is. Random number generator. Min 1, max 8.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Click generate and you're good. 6.
6?
6.
Who is 6?
6 is
Mike S.
Mike S. I told you, hey, I should have gambled. Mike 1.
Congrats, Mike. Yeah, so Mike S. I'll put my email in here. Just send me your address and let the chat know what ones you're going to be picking. Of this, everything up here, let me know what 3 samples you'd like.
Richard is not happy. You know what? I'm happy that it was you that did that, then like, and not me, because I don't know what to say. He thinks it's me.
Oh, we'll send something nice to Richard.
I might add a sample in there as well, of something that I want him to try.
But yeah, this 10-year-old man, for how much these things cost, if you can get them in the right market, what did they say, $80 US, something like that?
Yeah, Peter White said 72 US, and Richard said he was getting his for 85, if I'm not mistaken. So either way, at either of those prices, I would immediately buy 2, because as a Canadian, I'm never going to see that. So it's definitely, I don't know, great buy. And personally, I like it better than Octomore. I know a lot of people think that's blasphemy, but
I mean, you got to like the price. So Mike, so your options are anything on the table. You can pick 3 samples. There's the Cask Strength 10-year-old. This is batch 7. The old discontinued 18-year-old green tin. The lore. And then the cartridge lineup, I've got the newest port and wine, the Cask Strength triple wood, the Cask Strength quarter cask, and the Pheno cartridges. So of all of this, pick your 3, and we'll ship them off to you as soon as I can.
Mitch is asking me what I teach. I'm actually a teacher by day, so because of like the way COVID has like affected all the teaching jobs and stuff like that, I'm teaching grade 4 this year, believe it or not. But I started teaching grade 7, and then they bumped me around, and all sorts of weird things happen. But if you're talking about martial arts, because you were hearing our conversation earlier, I teach Muay Thai, teach Thai boxing. Yeah. Jasper is saying take the 18 times 3. Now he's mad at me because I said he's not allowed to take my my wheels. We'll hug it out, Jasper. I still love you despite the fact that you've been buying all kinds of cool stuff and not letting us know about it. He's so seconding. He seconds the 18. I shouldn't have said anything. It's my fault.
The cartridges, I would say that my favorite is the original Portwood. I like that one the most. My second favorite would be the Madeira, I believe. And then I would probably have to go to
the 200th anniversary one.
I don't think I have that one.
That one's really good.
That's like a yellow label, right? Was that just ex-bourbon cask? I forget what that one was.
No, it was a specific. Hold on. I'll look it up. It was a specific. I reviewed it. I can't remember what it was though.
Anyway, so yeah, I've tried that one, but I don't own a bottle of it, so I can't really remember where I would rank it. But I think third, I don't know, maybe like the Pheno, I think it was pretty solid. The newest one's pretty good. I wasn't a big fan of the quarter cask strength, which is unfortunate because I really do like the quarter cask. And then the triple wood was pretty decent too. But I'd probably go Fino, then probably the newest one, and then triple wood. Last would be quarter cask.
So it says it was aged in ex-bourbon casks for around a dozen years.
Yeah.
The 200th edition.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah. So, wow.
Yeah.
I did not appreciate that like I would now, for sure. See, like that's an example of something I reviewed way too early on my channel. If I reviewed it now, I think I would appreciate it way more and like it a lot more too.
Right. Mike asking if we have any Cartridge 30-year-old. No. I wish. I would love to try it. I think they go for quite a bit on the secondary. Yeah, the Madeira was really good. It was nice. I still got I got a bunkered bottle somewhere around of that.
Which one was the yellow one? That was Fino, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, this one is the yellow Fino, right? But you're talking about the 200th anniversary, which is also a yellow label. I'm pretty sure, right?
No, it's green. I don't know. I'm colorblind, but
oh, it's green. Okay, yeah.
What color is that?
Green.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's green. I have a lot of trouble. Today, one of my students is asking me the colors of the shapes in this pattern, and I'm like, dude, you're asking the wrong guy. I'm like, you are asking the wrong guy.
That's awesome.
So
did Mike S say what 3 he wanted, or he's still contemplating it?
I don't think he did. Are you still working on something there? Should I pour something else?
Sure. What else do you got?
I think I might just pour a Shelter Point to end off the night.
I'm gonna go back to the Cartridge Fino because I kind of forget this one.
Or you know what I'll do? I'll keep it with the peat because I don't know if a non-peated whiskey will stand up to what we've tried tonight. So maybe I'll do Balvenie Peat Week. I'm curious how it'll stand because this is more barbecue style peat as opposed to like the Isla style. So, let's see how it goes. I really like the display on these. The bottom, the what's it called? The tin is beautiful. Did a great job with these tins.
Nice. What's the AB? The AB you said was what, 48 on that?
48.3. I think it's all ex-bourbon cask. So 48.3. Pretty cool bottle. I mean, pretty cool like display anyway.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Mike is going with the 10 cask strength, the lore, and surprised me on the last one. Well, I'll give you the 18 because I think that's my favorite. So the 3 best, in my opinion. I'll give you samples of these 3. And we'll see what you like the most. I mean, the 18 is just a great, great scotch.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not a surprise, but I'll give you the 18 because I think it's one of the best ones for sure. Cheers, man. So yeah, just email me your address. If you haven't already, you might have already. Yeah, you know what? The first time I had a peat week, I was telling you about that. I didn't think it was that good. I think the DH was asking if there's any like notification of vintages because I definitely had one, and it was probably 3 years ago, and I didn't think it was anything special. But then a lot of people were giving good reviews of this stuff, so I don't know. Maybe there is some better batches out there.
Yeah, there's definitely batches because remember it's peat week, right? So it's only what they produce once a year for 1 week. Right. So this one is, I believe, if there's a 2020 version, this is it. If not, then this is the 2019.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the 2019 though, because I believe the older one that the LCBO had was the 2017. Nice barbecue like style peat to this though.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say after like the initial opening of this bottle, there was much more peat than there is now.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Belvini uses peated malt for every expression, but like super low amounts, like 2 ppm or something like that.
Yeah, probably 2 to 5.
Yeah.
And then probably like these are considered 40, if that. No, there's a nice amount of like barbecue peat to this though. Levels, it says right here on the box, levels similar to Laphroaig and Ardbeg, 30 parts per million. There you go.
30, okay. Yeah, so it's pretty significant.
Yeah. No, it ain't no Octomore 120 or whatever they do.
Octomore does over 300 on some of them.
But yeah, like there's a certain point where it's just not detectable, I think, to the human palate.
Right.
I think, anyway. I could be wrong.
Have you tried the Laphroaig 16? I feel like I have tried a sample of it a while back, but now I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. I definitely have not owned a bottle.
I haven't tried the Laphroaig 16 or 15. The 15 I missed. It was one of those ones that I wanted to buy and I didn't. And I regret it because of how good the 18 was.
Maybe I'm thinking of the 15. Is the 16 relatively new, or they've come out with that before?
I don't know. I've never even heard of it. I know that like there was like that anniversary edition 15, but
So maybe I was thinking of the 15 that I've had before. I don't know if the 16 is a new expression or not.
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Maybe we'll say it in the chat. Out of the older Laphroaigs, I'd be curious to know which one is the one like, yeah. So he's saying it's new.
Okay, yeah. So no, I have not tried it then.
Is that bottled at 48 as well? Let's see.
So Matthew's saying that he's got a 2003 Peat Week in storage that he hasn't opened yet, saving it for a special occasion. So maybe that's one of the good vintages. And are they all 14 years old? I don't remember.
I think so.
So that would have came out in what, 2017?
They do like this decorated tin. I think the 12, the 14, and there's a 26 and a 19 actually that are all part of this series. I don't know what the series is in particular, but this one's Week of Peat. I don't know what the other ones are called, and I don't know if it's like part of a series. But
do you think that Laphroaig would do something like Ardbeg did and release like a 5-year-old? And do you think that it would be way too intense, like you're really young Laphroaig at 5 years old?
I think it's worth a go, right? Like Octomore is showing that they can get a lot of success out of something like that, right? So why not try it? Why not give it a shot? I think Ardbeg is getting the success that they want. It doesn't cost them much. They can turn it over very quickly.
I'm still convinced that Octomore has like 18-year-old whiskey in it, though.
Yeah,
like a small amount.
You could be right. You could be right. Although the older, like, so the 10-year-old and like the older ones that we've tried don't review as well, and they're usually not as good as the younger ones, right?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, but it could just be like that 5-year-old Octomore just pumps that up so much more, and then when you put the minimum age at 10, it doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah, it's also the peat level, right? Like the peat level is going to drop significantly as it gets older.
Mm.
So actually, for a 14-year-old peated whiskey, this is fairly peated in my opinion.
But I love to see Laphroaig do a 5-year-old wee beastie kind of take on it. You know, bottle it at like 50% ABV or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could even make it part of their cartridge line. You know.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. because that would be intense. And I'm trying to think of like independent bottles of Laphroaig and how young they get. I think I've definitely had an 8-year-old, but I'm trying to think of anything younger than that. I think there is some that's younger. I think Ralphie was talking about a 6-year-old Laphroaig independent bottle. It'd be interesting to try it.
Yeah. Laphroaig in general, I know their cartridge is hit or miss, but like, and I wish they bottled their 10 at least at 46, but everything else they do is great in my opinion. Like I don't know too much about their older stuff because I'm not willing to spend that kind of money, but for them to be in the top 3 in 2 of my list videos, I think that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
And like we're talking about a whiskey that I don't like seek out to buy very often. Like I'm not looking like hunting down Laphroaig, right? So for the 18 to be my number 1 on my top 10 18-year-old whiskey or Scotch whiskey list, and then the 10 Cask Strength to be my number 2 on my Cask Strength list, I think is pretty impressive.
100%. All right, well, that's probably where we should wrap it up. You've got the 10K coming up soon. You want to tell everyone when that is so they can mark it down on their calendar?
Yeah, so guys, the 18th, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, PM, obviously. We're going to do a live tasting of the GlenDronach 1990 PX single cask, 26 years old. Hopefully I'll get a little bit more sleep the night before, so I'm not as exhausted as I am right now, and my eyes are like half closed. But yeah, a lot of cool people going to be in the chat. This gentleman over here, Jeremy, and Narvi from Malta Reviews, Roy from Aquavite, Scott from the Scotch Test Dummies, Scotch Test Dummies, and Jason from the Mash and Drum. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. We're all going to be drinking the same thing because they all have samples in the mail, plus the 2 Patreons that have hopefully everybody gets these samples by the 18th. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. They were all sent out, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Everybody gets those whiskeys, and then we're good.
Yeah, so that's Friday the 18th. Mark it down on your calendar, and hopefully we'll see you all there. What else you got coming up on the channel until then?
Just the regular reviews. I'm going to start amping them up a little bit because I do have a lot to get through, and the end of the year is coming, so the best whiskey of the year.
Yeah, you know what? I got to get some more Canadian whiskey under my belt so I can pick a top Canadian this year because I haven't tried the 22 Wiser's Cask Strength yet, so I got to try that. And then the Red Letter should be coming soon.
I feel like you should try some of these shelter points before you make your decision.
Yeah, I should definitely do that as well. Lots of good Canadian whiskey this year for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I did a Cavalan PX review today. My next review will be coming out probably Sunday or Monday. It's going to be the Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend Batch 10. That was a nice gift from Richard. So that review is finally getting up, and we'll figure it out after that. But yeah, tune in. And Rob, thanks so much for coming. Thanks to everyone who super chatted tonight. Congrats on winning the samples. To Mike, and I'll get this off to you as soon as I can. And yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate you tuning in.
Cheers, everybody.
All right, cheers.